That's what I made James. It's potato skins, and yeah, we'll see how he likes that. So top of the stack is Jane. It's a National Geographic thing, and they did a great job. All About Eve, Dracula, Living, The Unholy, and California Typewriter got bottom of the stack.
Okay, I'll just watch now.
Huh? Oh no, I'll put a mask on. You sit down and eat. I was just not thinking. There we go. All fixed. There. So today I put, there's a mix that we get from the Salvation Army quite often, I think. It has bell peppers mixed with red onions sliced up in it. And so I put that in the bottom of the potato skins, and then I put the Cuban bowl that we've been getting mixed, and like without the pork, because I give that to Angel. And then I put mozzarella cheese on top. And first I baked it with the tin foil on the top for maybe 15 minutes, and then off for another 15, so it'd get toasty on top. And what is this? Is this one better or about the same, or?
Well, 11 on a scale.
So this one's better. James likes this one more. But yeah, I had a headache yesterday, and I don't know what triggered it.
It's hard to say.
But I still have it a little bit, you know, but it's quite a bit better. I'm
It
worried
sounded
about
awful.
eating things. Well, it always
Last
is.
night.
You know, it's terrible. It puts me in bed. I can't do anything. I'm really sick.
It sounded as though you were on your deathbed. You know?
Yeah, well, that's what it feels like every time I get those things. And, you know, I think about, like, I did get, once upon a time, I got a prescription for migraine medication, and it really felt great. Honestly, it worked. But then I was reading the bottle, and it said if you have heart condition or whatever, then not to. And I was like, should I? And James and I, we talked about it, and we didn't think it was a good idea for me to be on that. So anyway, so I just tough it out, and I just it only lasts usually about a day or so, and
it seems as though it's usually or so.
And
there seems to be a little bit of a hangover.
Yeah, there's a bit of a hangover too. So I don't feel like eating today. But there's, you know, I've gotten some books out of the library about intermittent fasting, and getting these migraines. I guess it makes me intermittently fast. Maybe
I wouldn't advise.
No.
Ordinarily,
I wouldn't advise having migraines. It's not fun.
The trouble with fasting is it makes you think about food. The best thing to do is get something that occupies your mind.
You really don't.
Well, I'm talking about
it coming back up.
But I'm talking now in general terms.
Yeah.
Fasting makes you think about food.
Well, if you're active though, like we found, if we're hiking, you don't think about food.
You don't think about food.
You can just
when you're writing, I bet you a lot of time you don't think about food.
I don't know, maybe not.
Well, that's the way I was.
Yeah, I know when I was.
I'd go hours without.
Yeah, when I was painting, I was that way. I'd zone out, and it'd be like, oh wow, 12 hours passed. I better eat something. Anyway, Jane, this one's, I think it was about an hour and a half long. Yep. And wow, is this ever awesome. I hadn't realized how really quite bad they were at studying nature. I mean, they were doing things like, at first they weren't having any luck. Jane wasn't having any luck finding, getting close to the chimps, right? And then, every time they saw her, they'd just run away. So really all of her observations were through binoculars for the most part, or them running away, observations of them running away. So then eventually, first it happened by accident. You okay?
I will. I've got a broken tooth and it's jagged.
Oh no.
It's my
But you haven't been wanting to go to the dentist. Yeah. I know.
My teeth are broken down in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Thank you for all you flunkies who released the plague on us. I'm not going to say which one, but I don't want Pauline to lose her platform on whatever it is she's on.
Okay.
But thank you.
I'm going to talk about Jane again. So, yeah, it's amazing. At first it happened by accident. A chimp stole some bananas out of their tent while they were gone. And so then they started setting up food traps so that they could, well, first actually it got really bad after, like before they set up the food traps, the chimps decided to come in on like, just huge numbers of them decided to come in to steal whatever from them, right? So they were just, the chimps were making off with anything and everything. And then things were getting pretty aggressive between the chimps because they were starting to fight over whatever, like cardboard boxes or whatever they took, right? So then the food trap started. So honestly, I hadn't realized that she really wasn't observing chimps in the wild so much because there was the food trap situation. And then, I mean, I had seen videos of her grooming the chimps and her playing with the chimps and stuff like that, right? And so I knew that she was interacting with them, but I didn't know how that came about, you know, that, anyway, it's interesting. And I loved watching this. This has, I guess they'd found, it says drawing from over 100 hours of never before seen footage. They'd found a bunch of tapes that they hadn't used before, and they decided to make this doc, and wow, this is the best thing I've ever seen about Jane Goodall and her chimps. And yeah, I think anybody would want to watch this. It was excellent. All About Eve. Now, this one is a Criterion.
That is her in her younger years, eh?
Oh yeah, she was beautiful.
I thought it was just a Hollywood remake, kind of one of those
she was
mockumentaries.
stunning. So, All About Eve, this one's from 1950. It's black and white, and I watched the movie first, and I was interested to see, like at first I caught I think the credits said something about Marilyn Monroe at the beginning, and I'm like, hey, Marilyn Monroe's in this, and she's not on the cover here, because she's not one of the big stars of this, and because she was younger then. And but wow, I mean, she just blew everyone away in terms of looks. She was incredible. But she played a young, hopeful, Hollywood kind of starlet to be. And
I thought you were going to say Hollywood.
yeah, I know. And anyway, so this has Bette Davis and a bunch of other people in it. And it has one woman that I love from Rear Window. She's been in, or she was in quite a few things, but she was never a leading lady, but she was always an awesome actress. And in Rear Window, she played like his, kind of like a healthcare nurse or whatever, like a home care sort of person who came in to, I guess, make sure he was eating whatever.
Help out Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah, because he had broken leg and in a wheelchair, right? So. Anyway, and in this movie, she plays Bette Davis's best friend / assistant, like who helps her with everything, right? So she's in a lot of this. And one thing to be said, I don't tend to like movies about actors. Like when actors are playing actors, I tend to hate it, actually. And I don't think that I'm alone there. I think a lot of people actually hate actors, and they don't want to see movies about actors' lives because they actually don't like them in real life. They like seeing the movies that they make, them acting as somebody else, but not acting as actors. So,
for a while at university, I hung with actors, and it was miserable.
Yeah. So, anyway.
It was almost as bad as hanging with jocks.
Yeah. So in this movie, they're playing actors, and other people too, like script writers, whatever. But yeah, there's some good writing in here. And so really what I liked more about the movie was the second disc on this. The first disc has the movie, and there's a second disc in here. The booklet is kind of stupid. I didn't really care for that. There's a pretty hefty booklet in there. But the second disc is excellent, and it has an hour-long interview called All About Mankiewicz, or however you say his name. And because he's the guy
What was he, a
who
producer
did
or
this.
something like that?
Well,
Or a director?
Well, I imagine he did something with writing and stuff.
Okay.
Written
I've heard
for
that.
the screen and directed by.
I've heard of
Because he was a good writer. And so he did write some pretty witty lines for people in this. So, as much as, like, I guess Marilyn Monroe was young in this, so I really can't compare her acting to the others because she did a terrible job. Honestly, she did a terrible job in this. And against Betty Davis, somewhere. I mean, you saw her against Betty Davis and you're like, wow, Marilyn compared to Betty Davis. And Betty Davis is a beautiful woman, right? But she was quite a bit older in this. And then you see the acting, though, and you're like, wow, yeah, Betty Davis is just way better than Marilyn. Marilyn's not even an actress. But anyway, like I said, yeah. Dracula. It's starting to rain, so we're going to get in pretty quick. This one's from the creators of Sherlock, and the first disc of this was good. I was like, oh, I love where this is going. I can't wait to see more. And then at the end of it, Dracula, he walks up onto the shores of England, and he's confronted with a helicopter and some cars and guys with guns and stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay, what in the world is going on here? And it could have been okay, but they had the one woman who was playing a woman way back in like 123 years before, also playing a woman who's greeting him at the shore, and she's supposed to be an ancestor, a descendant of the woman from 123 years before, and I hate it when they do that. I hate it. I mean, put some makeup on them to make them look completely different then or something. Because nobody, like, I don't look exactly like any of my ancestors. Nobody does.
It's amazing.
So I hate it when they do that. And then it just got worse from there. And I will talk more about this later because it's